Welcome to Tales and Tatase. I am Atinúkę, your host, storyteller, and culinary adventurer. Today is a very special day because I have a man that can cook, and I am so pleased to start the show with him. Okay, sorry. That was him with the doorbell. Let's go and open the door. Yay! Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for indulging me. I know I stressed you so much on Sports Day. Guys, I stressed him so much. I'm like, you have to come and cook on my show. He's my friend's dad. So this is Erskine Douglas. I'm sorry, my African roots will not let me call him Erskine. I'm just introducing him. He's uncle to me, okay? So this is Uncle Erskine Douglas to all of us. And I am so privileged. Thank you. He's MBE, ice hockey, and Great Britain coach. So many things. I'll put his resume in the caption, okay? So you can drool. All right, guys, okay? And this is a Bayesian meal. He's taking us to Barbados, guys. We're on a culinary adventure to Barbados. And I am so excited. I'm the sous chef today. He's the main chef. Please take the floor.
Okay, thank you.
So, I always get a chair for myself. Do you want a chair as well, or you're good?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, well, ice hockey, champ, all of those good things. Clearly, he's good. Young girl that hasn't gone to the gym in how long? Clearly, well, young girl. Yeah, that's me. So what are we making today? Please run us through the food and the ingredients, all of this good stuff.
Well, today we're doing fried pork chops with gravy, with peas and rice.
Oh.
And that's where we're starting off. The peas over here, I've soaked them overnight so they're ready to go. Then there's rice in here, which I'm going to wash and I'm going to put in with the peas once they've cooked. Over here is the rest of the ingredients, which is linked to the pork chops and the gravy. Okay. So we have the pork chops here overnight. I've seasoned those again with a little bit of sea salt, some black pepper, some mixed herbs, and a light dusting of curry. And here I've already sliced the onions for the gravy, and in the gravy we're going to have sliced tomatoes to help thicken the gravy sauce, some Scotch bonnet peppers. I'm using oil. This is corn oil, okay. But often in West Indies they're more likely to use groundnut oil.
Okay.
And then I've mixed a little bit of herbs here, okay, with curry, some mixed herbs, and a little bit of garam masala. Okay. And over here are all the ingredients that I've actually used, where you have mixed herbs. Okay. And this is garam masala. Okay. And this one is a mild curry powder.
It's a huge tin of curry powder.
Yeah, I use quite a lot. That lasts quite a bit of while. Okay. And instead of putting water in with the rice, I'll be using coconut milk, okay, which will give it a little bit extra taste. Okay. And this is a chicken stock cube.
No GMD, guys, no GMD.
Well, yep. And over here, this is some extra ingredients for the rice, which is a little bit of cut onion and some fresh thyme. That some of it will go into the rice and some of that will actually go into the gravy.
Can I say something, guys? I was going to chop the tomatoes for him and he's like, no, don't worry, I'll wash them and I'll chop them myself. So I am really balling today. And he brought all the ingredients for me. Listen, Uncle is the real G. But anyway, thank you so much. So what do we start doing now? What should we do now? And before we go, our pork chops, these pork chops and gravy, are they actually a Bayesian thing? So
it's a mixture. The Bayesians love pork, okay, and they love gravy. Okay. So what I tend to do is mix the two together, and you come up with something that's Bayesian-ish.
Bayesian-ish. A fusion meal, how we do it. Okay, so I guess we can start. I really feel, so my upbringing, when I see someone older than me, my friend's dad, it's very hard for me to see you doing everything and I'm not doing anything, but this is tough. So at least I'm going to bring some wine. Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc?
Chardonnay, please.
Let's do this. Guys, it's only in the UK that I'll be shacking with my friend's dad. I can't try this in Lagos. All right? I just want to say I don't drink a lot. I don't care about what Adebayo and Christina said. And you will see that I'm not even a pro at opening this bottle of wine. Do I look like a pro? I definitely don't look like a pro. Oh, there we go. Hooray! Cheers.
Cheers. Good. Yes, very nice.
Very nice. Going to be a fun show. All right, let's go.
I'm now going to start cooking the peas. We've got some water in here ready.
Okay.
I'll just tip the peas in. What I'll do also is I'll put a little bit of salt in. I tend to use a measure of hand rather than a measure of anything else because I don't want too much salt.
Alchemy.
That's good.
Okay.
And then these will come to the boil. And while I'm doing that, I'm now going to wash the rice, which will go in once the peas have been cooked.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Do you need a sieve or you're okay washing it?
No, I tend to just
that's
wash
pro
my
things. So are we going to mix this with the peas or what are we doing exactly?
Yes, what actually happens is once the peas have been cooked, they're not quite cooked, they're going to be a little bit hard so that they will continue to cook. The rice will go in,
okay,
and it will continue cooking. It will cook for between 15 and 17 minutes.
Okay.
And then it will rest for between 15 and 17 minutes.
So, what do you think about Afro-Caribbean food not being as commercialized as other foods? Because I think we're being cheated. We have jollof rice, look at this delicious pork and gravy, we have different meals, the rice and peas. Food gives value to economy. You look at the Indian, the Chinese cuisine, the Indian cuisine. Why isn't ours as commercialized?
I think because it takes longer to cook, it takes longer to prepare, and also I don't think they're actually stored as well. So it tends to be something you will cook and eat relatively quickly. If you take, say, jerk chicken or whatever, that's always done there and then. But the preparation for jerk chicken, when they put it on the barbecue, that will start at maybe 8-9 o'clock in the morning.
100%.
And it won't be ready to really be eaten until maybe 1 o'clock.
You know, I've never thought of that perspective. That is very interesting because I've just been thinking, oh, why is this happening? Why are we out there, jollof rice, this and that? But we don't actually have quick meals. Even in terms of rice and peas, you put like fresh thyme, fresh this, you put this, there's stages to it. Look at what you're doing with the pork. You fry it first. And even if you didn't say, guys, these onions were marinating with the pork, so they also have flavor. By the time you use that for the gravy, it gives a delicious taste. My mouth is watering. Let me just have some water.
Yeah.
And another thing that you told me about the turkey and goose, getting it from a free-range farm.
Yes, I think what I look at Christmas is really around getting the best meat possible. So at one time we'd have turkey on Christmas Day and goose on Boxing Day. It's evolved a little bit, so we have probably goose on both days, but I get a large goose and it's always free range.
Wow.
Because it's all about the taste. And actually, you find with free range food is that you have very little water that comes out when you roast or cook, because often with chickens in the supermarket, if you see what they do to get them to be plumped up, and that's why you have so much water and residue.
So in Nigeria, it's called local chicken versus agric chicken. Agric means there's some modification to make them big.
Yeah.
Local chicken, they're red, free range, proper. And the stock from local chicken is so delicious and so thick, because when you're steaming chicken in Nigeria, you don't add a lot of water, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it steams. It brings out its own water, but the one from local chicken is very little. The African culture I grew up in, anyone could come up to say differently. Men don't really cook. It almost, for some men, seems like it's a reduction in your masculinity.
It's actually around what people see, because if you look at Kobe, who's Rochelle's son and my grandson, he's now interested in cooking.
Imagine.
The simple reason is that I cook, his dad cooks, his uncle cooks.
Yeah.
So he now
not
is
big
showing
deal.
interest in cooking. What I would say though, a bit of advice really, I think from our sort of culture,
Yeah.
and that's the sort of black wider culture,
Yeah.
is that we should use less salt.
For health.
Yes.
Definitely. And it's so interesting because our foods are so tasteful, we don't need as much salt. But I think it's the training. Whoever brought them stock cubes into our countries have trained us to have overactive taste buds that want more of this salty, savory taste.
Yes, I think what people have to remember though with salt is that often some of the ingredients you're using already have salt in. So you need to think before you put salt in, because you can't take salt out. Okay, the peas are cooked now, and I'm about to put in the rice. I've opened the coconut milk, which is what I'm going to put in with the rice.
Okay.
So let's get on and put the rice in.
So is this all this going to cook with just the coconut milk?
Yeah,
Let me get
so
a spoon.
the rice is in. To this I'm going to add some thyme and some onion, and also a little bit of the Scotch bonnet to add extra flavour. So just cut the Scotch bonnet. Onion.
Yeah, okay.
Dip that in, and just spot that in as well. Now I know I said previously about salt, but I put a little bit of salt in with the peas, and now I'll put a very small amount of salt in with the rice.
Okay.
You can see it's not a huge amount of salt,
Yeah.
and then that goes.
Okay.
Then,
We're definitely not having a lot of salt today.
then the coconut milk, I'll pour that in.
Okay.
And with the rice, I always have the rice that is slightly wet, not totally dry,
Okay.
so that it actually has a little bit more flavour to it as well.
Oh, lovely. Can I move it to the other side just so that we can start making our pork?
Yes.
Thank you.
And what we need to do is to keep it uncovered,
Okay.
let it boil, then you cover it, then you turn it down.
Thank you.
So that's what we'll do there. What I'll do now is I'll continue now. As the rice is on, that's out the way, I will actually start looking at frying off the pork first. So I'll get the pork.
I'm here for you.
Okay, thank you. I've got the
What
pork.
about the oil?
And I need some oil.
Okay. Is that going to be enough oil to cook the whole thing?
Yes, again, I cut down on the amount of oil that we use because again, too much oil is not good for you.
Yeah, just a little.
You know, so I use a little less oil. Here I'm using corn oil. You could also use groundnut oil, which is quite good, if you can get it. So with the chops, really, I'm probably going to fry them off till they're brown, and that's usually about 3-4 minutes or so on either side. Then I'll take them out, put them back into the bowl that I had them in before, and what I'll decide then is there too much oil in here for me to fry off the gravy? Because believe it or not, pork chops produce a certain amount of oil, and hence when I started off I didn't put too much oil in, because you can see if you have a look that there's oil now, the amount of oil in there has gone up. The pork chops are done. I'm going to take those out, and the onions go straight in. If we look at this, you can see that it needs a little bit more oil, so I'll just tip a little bit of oil in.
So I'll usually buy the gravy granules. I'll make the gravy, but it's so good to see this.
Right, so now I'll just tip the tomatoes in.
So that's the mixed herb.
I'll take another quick look at that.
You want to boil it for?
It's
Is the rice speaking to you,
Are you
Uncle?
listening to it?
It was like,
Like you were listening to it.
I am listening, because if it has a lot of water in, you'll hear it bubbling. If it's got less water in, you hear it bubbling less. Right, so you'll know.
food whisperer.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting in a chicken stock cube, because you can have pork ones, but I find the chicken ones are actually very, very good for go with pork. And I'll put that in, and then the next thing I'll do is to add some water. Pour the water in. Now it's a matter of just looking at that. Go back, and we've got Scotch bonnet, some heat with a little bit of flavour. rather than pure heat.
Pure heat. Okay. Now I know that. Yes.
From here, if you have a look, I'm going to put the pork chops back in. Right. And if you notice as
Look
well,
at
in the bottom, you've got
stock.
all the juices that's flow back out the pork, and I'll pour that in as well.
Oh, I really wish I could give my viewers some of this food because it smells good, it looks good, and I'm sure it's gonna taste good.
And I'll turn that down. And what I'll do is I'll put the cover on.
Okay.
And that will now cook away for maybe 15 minutes. I'll ping it usually for 15 minutes.
Okay, let me set that timer while I just tidy up the place. Moment of truth. Thank you again. Let's try it together.
Okay.
Cause see how the pork came off. How soft do you want it to be? That's so good. I didn't even need the knife. Anyway.
That's good.
It is fantastic. Sorry. I was a bit worried because he didn't add salt to the gravy at all. He just used some chicken stock pod or something.
Yeah.
No salt. And I was worried, I was like, And then you saw the pinch of salt. And this is so good. I can taste everything. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know everything you do for me. And say thank you. Thank you to Uncle Erskine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
It was so good. Everybody, come on,